My name is Francie Bishop Good. I live and work in South Florida and New York City. I'm so grateful that I have such a beautiful studio to work in. My art practice has evolved into many different mediums, but I always work in a series. I seem to have to practice again and again until an idea or a form is played out. Experiment plays a large part in my work. For the last 3 years, I have not planned anything out, but I've just worked in the intuitive. My own art informs my collecting and vice versa without plans, which is also very intuitive. I was raised in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I always had a vivid imagination that was encouraged. But basically, our generation of the 50s and 60s was left alone. The world I grew up in was white, middle class, and totally sexist. These things inform my work to this day. One of my first exposures to art was at the Allentown Art Museum, seeing one of the Crest collection paintings of dead animals. And I remember screaming bloody murder. I have always been enthusiastic about art. In 1957, I was 7 years old, and I traded green stamps for my first camera. I've used photography since that time. I always found photography magical. I embedded photographs in my work, used them as collage elements, and then used traditional photography also. I stayed with traditional photography for quite a while till I couldn't stand it anymore, and then moved to digital imagery using collage and painting. So after working digitally and flat for so long, I wanted to try something else. And I started to work in clay. I have no training, and I didn't want to have any training. I wanted to just work intuitively, sort of art therapy on steroids. And I worked and kneaded this clay, and then I got a kiln, and I decided to paint my bisque-fired work in acrylics like my paintings. And I was influenced from my digital work using many fluorescent colors in this series. From here, I started putting pieces of clay together, working backwards like my old collage work, but using assemblage, and then adding painting, adding two-dimensional painting to my three-dimensional objects, calling these pairings, which is what I'm doing today, and very excited about.